women usually think that the skinnier they are, the more attractive that they are to men, which is actually quite the contrary.
When I was a personal trainer, that's what everyone wanted. All the women came and they said, I just want you to turn me into this like lamppost.
Plastic surgery has become so mainstream everywhere around the world.
Even the Middle East.
More,
like,
no. People are flying to Turkey, to Colombia because it's cheaper. But depending on where your culture is, what your aesthetic preference will change, right?
Yeah.
So like in America, what's considered to be quote unquote beautiful is different than, let's say, in another country.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this episode. Okay, this is Fitness Friday with Friends, and why I love this episode, it's about men and women and what's attractive to the opposite sex and what women want, what men want. We talk about this sometimes, and I believe this is kind of like health fitness because it's about like, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit about like your aesthetics, your vanity, like how women train, how men train, what women are doing because they think that they're going to attract men more and vice versa. Like, I love all this stuff. So let's talk about this. So my guest today is my friend Liron. He is a fitness coach, strength training coach in LA. And he lives nearby me, and I asked him to come here and be my friend today.
She had no other friends once every 10 years it happens.
Exactly. And you know, Liron and I used to kind of work out together a little bit, but we became more friends than anything. We used to work out at Equinox. We saw each other. We worked out beside each other, really, more than working out together.
Yeah, we did like one or two exercises together.
Yeah,
show me something, I'd show you something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how friends are made in the fitness world.
That's true, right? Yeah. That is like we actually like parallel play. You know, kids are
playing. Yeah.
And same with the fitness friends, right? Like you parallel workout,
and you still have your routine. So like, you know, you borrow one or two things, but like you're not going to throw your whole thing out.
Exactly. Like I'm not really bothering you in your workout. You're not really bothering me in my workout.
Parallel play. That's what it is.
It is. It's like parallel play. Yeah. But for fitness, like fitness play, like it's exactly the same thing. But you kind of like worked out with my friend, and that's how I kind of met you. You like parallel played with her a little bit, you know.
Making it sound very. It's not.
Well, didn't you parallel play?
No,
okay. Well, no, you did. I'm not saying you That's not like a euphemism for something
good.
else. You parallel played, like you worked out beside each other.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a parallel player in general.
100%.
Because I like I do things my way.
Me too.
And I'm very social, but I don't know, maybe it's a Gemini thing if you believe in that stuff. But I'm very social, but then I also have a very strong sense of like, this is what I want to do. And, you know, I'm like that with everything, not just fitness.
It's not just fitness?
No, it's a personality trait.
Just a personality trait. Okay. I'm like that with fitness, actually. Like, I'll work out with you, no problem, but I want to get my own shit done first.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like, let me work out first, and then we can do whatever.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
might also be a high achiever thing, you know.
Do you
like
think
someone
so?
I think more driven people are like that. They don't just like, otherwise you're like a leaf in the wind, you know, you're going everywhere. This person's doing this, and then you're jumping on this new fad, and you lose your path.
You know, it's funny because a lot of my friends who are like really into health, like really into like fitness and like all the things like that, they also don't love to work out with people. Like I'll say to people thinking it'd be like a nice social thing, you know, like, hey, let's, you know, we can talk, we can work out together. And more often than not, they're like, nah, let me just do my own thing. Why don't we meet after for coffee? You know what I mean?
Sure. Meet after for coffee, 100%.
Like we'll get a shake after. And I thought, okay, that's actually way more preferable for me. I just tried to be friendly. But I think a lot of people who take their fitness seriously do feel that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really great gateway drug, so to speak, for people who they don't love fitness, they don't love to work out. And it's a really great way to get people to exercise is to do it with your friends and like motivate each other. So if you're somebody who doesn't love working out, or you need to start a program and you need to get that kick in your ass or that little bit of motivation, definitely, you know, try doing it with a friend, and then use like a goal, like say, let's train for this half marathon or for something, because then it keeps you engaged.
Oh yeah.
So that's a quick little tip.
Tidbit.
Yeah, a little tidbit.
Yeah.
Okay, so in like the last episode, we were kind of like we started to talk about we actually were talking about like training styles for men and women, like how women like to train, how men like to train. And it kind of went into this whole other conversation about like what women think men want and men like, aesthetically, and what men think women like aesthetically. And you're saying that like women usually think that the skinnier they are, the more attractive that they are to men, which is actually quite the contrary, right? Even though, do you remember like in the 80s when Kate Moss was, she was like the hottest thing in the world?
I was born in 88. But yeah,
no, 90s. She was in the 90s. Sorry,
yeah.
90s.
Kate Moss was the English one?
Yeah.
Who like went off the rails and stuff?
I don't know. I think so. She was like the Calvin Klein model.
But yes,
She
very
dated Johnny
skinny.
Depp.
Yeah.
She
Calvin
was like
Klein models, yeah.
She made
Victoria's
that
Secret
waif
models.
look like really popular.
Yeah.
And so every girl thought that was the way to go.
Yeah, and when I was a personal trainer, that's what everyone wanted. All the women came and they said, "I just want you to turn me into this like lamppost," and I was like, "Okay, sure."
Right, but then let me say this: over time, things evolved, and Kim Kardashian became really popular, and then like having a really big butt was like the biggest thing in the world,
and
now
that's what everyone wanted.
And they still, I mean, like it's kind of like losing its like cachet. I don't know if that word cachet. It's kind of losing its like status or like cachet, or like people like are now like kind of the pendulum is kind of swinging the other way again.
Yeah.
But everything like is cyclical, like decades. Like either it's the look as being a waif, it's being voluptuous. Like Marilyn Monroe was very voluptuous, and now we're kind of like in that like big butt, small waist, and people are getting those Brazilian butt lifts.
But I think we're in a dangerous time, because this is something in human history that's never happened before. Many things actually, but in the fitness/fashion world, it's fake bodies, it's plastic bodies, and that is, I think, dangerous. So I said this on the last episode, where I've seen a lot of women who are naturally very beautiful, or even just like whatever, 7s, 8s, 9s, even 6s, whatever, doesn't matter. Wherever they are, they had their natural beauty, and then they were just like, I want to be like whoever, famous person, ... and they became plastic. They got a fake butt or fake lips or fake whatever, and they instantly drop down, and usually women don't recover from that. I'm saying this as a man.
Yeah, tell me. Well, okay, is that more of an LA thing, or I heard...
I don't think anymore. It starts in LA, but
that's what
England,
I think too.
England's like that too.
Well, I think that like it used to be that LA was known for like that fake, plastic look, but now plastic surgery has become so mainstream everywhere around the world.
Even in the Middle East.
People are flying to Turkey, to Colombia, because it's cheaper. Yeah. But like there are girls who are like 20 years old who are like, casually talking about.
Yeah, it's
crazy. And they're like, I got my lip, I got my lower facelift, I got my nose done, I got this done, I got that. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're 20 years old. I'm like in my 40s and I'm scared to like get anything done. Yeah. But like I think it's actually become like societal, it's become very trendy to be doing that. Like, I don't think there's even like, there's not even like any shame. Like it used to be like, you were really like, you felt shame, or you were like really embarrassed, or it was like a secret. Yeah. And now it's like very much like out in the open. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like, look what I did. Like I got.
It's like a status symbol.
Yeah. Like people don't, there's no shame around it. There's no.
In Iran, apparently, I know this has nothing to do with America, but like in Iran, women will put bandages over their face, their nose, even if they haven't got surgery, to show that they're like high status enough to get like nose jobs.
Really?
So they're lying about getting plastic surgery.
Is that true?
I think so.
You think, or you know?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you're watching or listening, then just fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's actually how it works.
That's insane. I just think that
I guess it shows you have money, maybe. I don't know why they do it.
That's crazy. I just think it's insane. Like what we're what are we doing out there that we think that we're not good enough?
Yeah.
That we have to like manipulate our bodies to such a point where it's become so common where it's not even like looked upon as weird. Like at a young age, and this is what happens. It's like and listen, I get it. Like I actually understand how it happens, right? Like never before in the world in life have we ever seen ourselves constantly on a camera. Like think about it.
Yeah.
You know, like
you might catch yourself in the mirror or something.
No, through Zooms.
Yeah.
Through social media, like all you're doing is staring at yourself.
A natural way of living.
Right. And so all you're doing is all you're seeing are your imperfections 24 hours a day because it's constantly you're being reminded.
But the funny thing is other people don't. And that's the weird thing is like, especially again, looking at it from the framework as a man, looking at women who are doing this and younger and younger and younger and pretty girls too, like girls who are naturally attractive.
Yeah. Very pretty.
Then one day they just come in and they're, it looks like they've been stung in the face by a bee. And, their lips are like, I'm sorry if I'm offending people, but like,
true. It's like, no, but
it doesn't look good.
But what's funny is you ask any guy and most guys will say like, they rather the natural person than the person that looks like they've had like so much work done.
And I think women think that's, and so there's an equivalent on the man's side, like bringing this back to the original, like the source of this conversation. There's an equivalent on the other side where men want to get really muscular, like overly muscular. I guess it's called the Adonis complex, where you want to exaggerate, almost like become a caricature or become a cartoon of masculinity. So you just exaggerate until you're no longer really masculine. You're like hyper masculine, and women find that unattractive. Like women are not joking when they say like if you see like veins, like unnatural veins. I'm pretty veiny, but like unnatural veins or the steroid look or the monster look or something that's too perfect, even something that's too chiseled, too perfect. They find that unattractive, and men think bollocks.
Yeah.
They're just
Does bollocks mean like bullshit?
Bullshit. Exactly.
Well, you know what though? There is
they love it. Yeah, that's what they think.
I think you're right because there's some men who are like just so like they're so big.
Yeah.
And I get it. I keep on saying the word swole, but so muscular, like it looks crazy.
Yeah.
But
they lost the line of what was
right. But I think that happens with the girls on the other side. But this is my question. Now, isn't it really kind of like different different people like different things. Like there's some people who are going to like that look. Some people are not going to like that look. Like I know a lot of guys who like think that girl looks hot who has like the size triple D boobs and that waist that's been cinched in with like her ribs being taken out and her butt being like plumped up. And they think, wow, she's smoking hot. I think like there's certain guys who find that hot because they think it makes them look good. Like I think
it's like a trophy. The new trophy is like the plastic girl. Yeah.
Like it's all like, but then you have to think to yourself, what kind of person or what type of guy is going to find that attractive? Like what is that?
It's a bit of a red flag to be honest with you.
It is true. Like, by the way, I think about those things all the time when I see people, and maybe this sounds bad, but like I quickly make an assessment based around those things. Like,
me too.
Like these, don't you? Because these, like when I see a guy who's like 55 years old or 60 years old and he's with a 25-year-old girl, I'm thinking like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, and you too, lady.
I think about the girl more, yeah. I mean, I get why
the
guy would do it.
Well, listen, I get why. Okay, listen, let me say this. I get it. Like I get it again. Like I understand why. What I don't like is that just says something about the guy because
I agree with you. Yeah.
What do you have in common? Like you have nothing in common.
I agree with you
because
it's just pure physical attraction. That's it. You're basing your whole decision of your partner.
Well, you have nothing to like even talk. Like what do you talk
you're not
about?
talking.
And they'll say, "Oh no, they're an old soul," or like
might happen every once in a while, but generally speaking, probably not.
Well, because also like, where do you relate? Like I like people who can like remember like European Vacation and like we can like know we know like references like movies and whatever like in the 90s or whatever. These people were not even born until 2005.
Yeah.
So I find that to
Especially
be
now,
strange.
the pace of life moves so fast that
Yeah.
things get buried. So like, I was born in '88, and like I mean, I guess it's getting a bit of a revival now, where like people are dressing like the '90s and stuff, and wearing Nirvana
Yeah.
t-shirts, even though they don't
My
know who.
kid's wearing a Nirvana t-shirt.
Yeah, they don't know who Nirvana
They
is
have
or
no idea.
Metallica is.
They don't. But that's what I'm saying. It's important to have like you know, be with somebody who you can like, who you have things that you have like nostalgia with.
Yeah.
Right.
I love nostalgia.
I love
that's
nostalgia.
You know what I mean? It's such a good. It's almost painful, but it's like such a good
No, I think
bonding mechanism with
it's
people.
a huge bonding mechanism.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends, Darren, me and Darren Prince, shout out to Darren Prince, him and I literally laugh all the time about vacation, about Clark Kent, not Clark Kent, sorry, Clark Griswold, the Griswolds, like, National Lampoon's Vacation, European Vacation, like we like bond over like these funny movies that we both like loved. Do you know what I mean? And it like literally like it basically was like the beginning, the catalyst of like a friendship, because we had so much like so many things we were related upon.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting when people like don't value those things, and they undervalue like real things that you like bonding and like connection in those ways for like frivolous surface things, because that's to me is like, it's just silly. But anyway, I'm digressing, but I do find it interesting that men feel like women think that men want something that pretty much they don't want, and the vice versa is what you're saying.
Prioritize a fit body. Like every man wants like the.
Don't say every. We're gonna get in trouble. Not every. They're saying not every man.
Honestly,
Most.
she cancelled me already.
Some.
I'm sure I've said something, but most men who are attracted to women want the hip to waist ratio. This is like hip to waist. Another way of saying it is butt to gut. If you don't know what hip to waist is, so you want a slim waist and bigger hips. Now that ratio can expand, but the ratio has to stay the same, but it can expand. Some cultures can prefer wider of both of those things, and some prefer narrower. I think Western cultures like European and American probably want slightly narrower, and then like other cultures I'm not going to mention.
That's a good point. So depending on where your culture is, what your aesthetic preference will change, right?
Yeah.
So like in America, what's considered to be quote unquote beautiful is different than, let's say, in another country.
Yeah.
That's a good
point. And it's changing now. Like there's a lot of, and there's a lot of like debate about it in general. Like it's everything in America has to be like controversial. Like nothing can just be easy and smooth and functional.
No.
Everything has to be really controversial. And that's kind of the appeal of America.
Unless
makes things fun, but
I don't think it makes things fun. I think unless you are unless you are PC about what you're saying, like I had to correct you. I'm nervous all the time. Like, oh my God,
I'm always nervous,
because I'm gonna someone's gonna be offended, which is a silly way to be. Like everyone should be entitled to their own opinion. Yeah. But what I was gonna say is, okay, I have a question for you. As a guy, do you think for the most part men like a hot body versus a hot face, or a hot face versus a hot body, or is that something that is very dependent on who the guy is?
I think it's dependent on who the guy is, but it's a very good question. I haven't thought about this for a long time. Both. Is that cop out? Is my copping out there?
Yeah. Are you saying 50% of guys want the hot face and 50% of the guys want the hot body, or are you saying they want both?
I think every man wants a little bit of both. They kind of look at the whole package. Men in general prioritize like the physical. But actually, they did a study and they found that when women are looking at physical characteristics, they tend not to prioritize the face at all. That's very, very low. And the body is more important, especially like arms.
Men do?
Women. So actually, women in some ways are more shallow than men, according to this study. I can pull it up later. But men, I mean, again, I don't know.
I think women like tall men.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the first characteristic, physicality,
That's
like
true.
physical characteristic.
I don't think that was one of the criteria.
Then I think women, you don't need, women are not looking at their soul, like at their potential soulmate or their partner, and they don't have to be beautiful. They have to be somebody who can provide security for them. I think that's like what women look at really primarily. And then we can get down into the nitty gritty.
So the physical, I think, comes second, aside from height.
I think if you're like attractive enough and fit enough, I think, but you have the potential and you have the ability to make a woman feel secure and you have the height, I think those things like women are okay with.
That's the problem with height. You can't really train that.
You can't train height.
You can get rich, but you can't train
Well,
your
the guys who don't have height, then they work even extra hard
on their muscles
to get their body, to get really big.
That probably isn't going to cut it.
It doesn't look good either. I think the most attractive quality overall, I think in any sex, is having a strong sense of confidence and self-esteem and being okay with what you are and who you are. I think being comfortable in your own skin is by far the most sexy quality someone can have.
For me, I think and a lot of people think that, I think single people think that's probably bullshit, but it's true. And for me, growing up, I always was attracted to women, and I always said this, and I meant it. Like, physical was important to me, but I was a little bit different from a lot of guys in that the most important characteristic for me was like bubbliness, and not because that was how I saw confidence. I saw a good mood and like smiling and laughing and being happy-go-lucky.
Yeah,
that's what I always gravitated to that. Like, I was never attracted to women who were like little off, little with a bad you know. Or what I mean?
No, I think the word you're looking for is just kind of like miserable, like just kind of like not.
That wasn't an attractive quality to me.
Grumpy. Yeah. Nobody likes grumpy. I totally agree with you. Like, I think someone who is like friendly. I think the word's friendly that you're looking for.
Yeah. Friendly,
happy, comfortable in their own skin. Like, I don't care. There's no physical attribute that will ever take the place of that. You could be you could be a smoke show in either way, but if you have a bad personality or you're uncomfortable in your own skin and you're insecure, you're automatically, to me, like a 0.
Yeah.
If you're someone who's like, not that great to look at, but yet you exude confidence, real confidence, not bullshit like arrogance that you pretend to be confident. I mean, like real confidence, like, kind of like that's at your core, you're like the hottest thing in the world to me.
I agree. There does need to be a baseline attraction, but that attraction is something that you can't always...
Say, like a baseline. I'm not saying you're going to be like, like 700 pounds and,
Right.
rolling around in the mud. Like,
you don't really know what you're going to find attractive until you're actually attracted to someone. So I think like trying to get it down on paper, what is attractive to people. That's the problem with Tinder. What do you call it?
Yeah, Tinder.
Dating apps.
Dating apps.
This is how long I've been out.
How long have you been married
out of the
for?
game? Yeah.
Jesus Christ. God, you know nothing about these. These dating apps.
Yeah. Well, I got off right when I met my now wife. It was literally right around the time of Tinder, and that was like a watershed moment, I think, in history, because it got, I think, increasingly hard for people to find a long-term partner after that. And it was a lot easier before. So I think I got out of the game at a good time in many ways.
My God.
I mean, if you just want to hook up, it's great.
Oh my God, that's such a great point. Because you're right. I think it did. I'm so excited to talk to my next guest later, but because I believe that the dating apps popularity did ruin having a relationship. It changed a relationship into a situationship because you always can have options available to you.
Paradox of choice.
The paradox of choice. I was going to say that. The paradox of choice is probably the most, it is probably one of the worst things that's happened to to relationships and socialization. Yeah. Or if like there's always someone down the, I can swipe to.
Yeah.
Like my mother would always say to me when I was young, like, the person with the most options will always end up alone because you get overwhelmed.
That's true. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
I see that a lot
I see it all the time.
With women and men, but definitely with women. Like, I see, like, sometimes the girl who is always told, and, everyone thinks they're the most beautiful girl on the block, and, like, everyone's like, oh my God, you're such a princess, you're so beautiful.
I see it all the time.
and they just struggle because they always feel like they could do better, and also they should do better. So like they feel insecure because like, oh, this person isn't good enough for me. That means that I'm not good enough because I'm this beautiful and I'm with someone who's like only here, and so there must be something wrong with me.
I totally agree.
The weight of expectation.
I totally agree with that. I also think what happens, I have a friend like this who's so beautiful. She's always single, never dates. And I also think what happens is people don't even ask her out because they assume that she's with somebody.
Yeah.
And
intimidation
so
factor.
the intimidation factor. So she doesn't even get even like approached, basically.
Yeah.
And the problem is what happens then is she ends up going out with the wrong people over and over again who are actually like way below her
like what, like overconfident kind of cocky
just
guys,
douchey guys who will go out who are not fearful and go out ask her out, but they're just never good guys. And also I think what happens is like you don't learn how to properly you don't learn or get the dating experience because you don't have that happens too. But I think what you're saying happens more often than not, which is you always think you can do better, or or you're not, if it's just a look thing, you don't hone other qualities to make you a full person that makes you someone that wants, like, that people want to go out with. Maybe they'll want to go out with you and sleep with you, but that doesn't mean they're going to actually want to like have you as a partner because you kind of like, you're lopsided. You worked on your looks, or you didn't have to work on anything else.
That's also an unattractive quality as well. Like there was a song by the Streets back in the day, and it was like, fit but you know it, meaning she's hot but she knows she's hot, and that makes her less hot.
It makes you, well, that's the thing. But then why is it not okay to know you're hot? But I get what you're saying. It's all, then you have to act.
Hold it in.
Well, you're going to pretend. You're going to do like fake humility. Like, oh no. Like, but then that goes into a whole other thing, right? Like, why can't we own the fact that if we know we have something, why can't we be happy about it and proud? Like, why do we have to have this fake humility all the time? By the way, a whole other podcast. I mean, this is supposed to be a short one, but, I think
you can't have a short podcast on
men
and women.
I know. This
should be like
a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, this is I love this topic. I think a lot of people like this topic who are who are dating, or just, I'm not dating, but I love it anyway.
The game, but I still find it really fascinating. I mean, it's how the human species are going to continue. Like, we need to figure out dating, otherwise, like, we're gone. Need to procreation, right? And like, people are not procreating actually in some countries, and then in some places they are, and it's actually it is probably kind of a real issue that we need to sort out. But it's also just fun to talk about. I think
I love talking about it.
I don't watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever.
Neither do I.
I don't watch any of that stuff, but I really like to talk about real issues.
Me
you know
too.
what I mean?
And I love reading, like, I'm such a nerd this way. I love looking at the data of like what has happened between 19, like, let's say 20 years, before now, or 10 years. So I can see how evolution has changed, like with technology, with apps, like you said, like where we're going, how did it happen? Like anything, like how everything like works. Like, human nature to me I'm so fascinated by human nature. Yeah. I would have been a psychologist in another life. I got my psychology degree.
We're psychologizing now.
I know, we're psychologizing.
We're psychologizing.
That's true, right? All right, you guys, thank you for staying tuned. I'm curious, you guys. Let me know, if you wish, what you believe. Like, what did you think of this episode? Did you agree with Liron and not myself? What's your opinion on this whole men?
I want
to
know if I offended people. I'm really curious.
You didn't really say much to offend. Trust me, I don't think you did. And I if you did,
I wouldn't be upset if I did. I'm just curious if
people
get triggered by stuff. How easily
people get triggered by everything.
There's different, I think different types of people have different levels of sensitivity, and I don't know. Yeah. Your viewers, listeners, like your crowd, I don't know how sensitive they are.
Well, we'll find out. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. Have a great Friday. Bye.